Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on the resurrection of Charles Manson. I assume it's not a musical comedy. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 10 available at Amazon.com. Book 11 just about done. All right. So someone has decided to make a horror movie making Charles Manson, I guess, the equivalent of like Freddy or Jason or whatever. I mean, I guess it's not a bad idea from a horror perspective because Charles Manson's pretty scary. But it also seems like, I don't know, you're kind of maybe it's a little too close to home. I don't know. I've been around long enough that I kind of remember. I don't remember the actual trial. That was too soon, or too far back in the future, past. But yeah, I mean, I remember the fallout from it, the documentaries and stuff. I think one of the Tate family members just died. So I don't know if this glorifies Charlie's crimes. And that's, I think, an issue because that, to me, is what clearly drove Manson. He wanted to make music. He wanted to be famous. And, the people who, there are people who kind of glorify Charles Manson. And by Remy Grillo, by the way. Frank Grillo's, I'm going to assume, brother, is directing. March 2023 on demand and in theaters. Probably mostly on demand. They're using various symbols. I don't know. Seems like a weird way to glorify Charles Manson, but maybe they're not doing it. I mean, the only thing I've ever seen that used Charles Manson in the story, which I thought was hilarious, was South Park. South Park did an insanely funny Christmas special with Charles Manson getting out of prison and the kids from South Park not knowing who he was, which was part of the joke. And then at the end it was Merry Christmas, Charles Manson. This is not that. This is like, I don't know, they go out, from what I understand of the trailer, they go out into the desert to shoot a movie, I think, about Charles Manson. But then Frank Grillo, who I guess is directing the movie in the movie, is crazy and keeps talking like Charlie is around and that he's going to be resurrected somehow. So I guess it's about the crazy people who worship Charles Manson, which I guess, I don't know. It just seems odd. It just seems another excuse to make people crazy and weird. I'm not so sure it's really hitting upon those people because there was a recent story of a young woman who was so obsessed with serial killers she stabbed and killed her boyfriend and then bragged about it to her friend, like on social media, and how great it was. And the story feels like she was just caught up in the, there's this world of people who are like, ooh, serial killers. I'm into serial killers. Oh, they're so cool. Like, it felt like she was caught up in that and then just went off the rails. So I guess they're trying to go for that. I don't think they're quite capturing the vibe. I don't know. I'm also sure what time period this takes place because it's in the desert, so you don't. I guess it's the modern day. I don't know. They're using cameras. If it's a low budget film, it's possible they're using cameras, but it's also possible they'd use phones or whatever. It doesn't look very high tech, so it could be taking place in the past, But then Charlie would have to be dead because they. Well, I guess these are modern police cars. Yeah, I guess it's the modern day. I don't know. Just looks like an excuse for Frank Grillo to roam around and be ominous. And this actor as well. I guess is his sidekick, maybe. I'm not really enamored by any of the cast. Just seems like they're going to and they're going to show you creepy sound bites of actual Charles Manson, which is weird. It feels weird to use actual footage of him. I don't know. I want to say, like, it's bad karma to do this. That's what it feels like. It feels like it's bad karma to make a movie about Charlie Manson. You should probably, I don't know, rename it. Because the only reason it's kind of interesting in the trailer, at least to me, is because it's connected to a real guy who really killed people. So, yeah, I don't know. I think there's a limit to what you can do with something like this. Like, it would have been better maybe if they created a fictional guy who was Manson's acolyte, let's say, and then built it on him, because then you could design it better, and you could probably even still use the Manson quotes. But again, I don't know. This appeals to, I think, that audience of people who are really into serial killers, and I don't know if you should be giving them entertainment. I think they got a little too much. But I don't know. Would I watch it? I mean, maybe. I like horror movies. It doesn't seem that scary, though. It just seems like it's going to be weird. Weird guys in the desert doing weird things, and maybe a bunch of people get killed. I don't know. Seems like there's a couple that go out into the desert. Let me do the breakdown. So the first act, there's a couple that go out to the desert. I think the woman's in the movie. So she is... her boyfriend's shooting stuff, but then Frank Grillo's doing a movie too? Or is he not doing the movie? Is the boyfriend doing the movie, and then Frank Grillo's just there and he's a big weirdo and hears him doing this movie and decides to take over? I don't know. I can't really tell from this trailer. But I'm going to assume Frank Grillo is the guy who's making the movie. And the boyfriend's involved, and then they go out to be in the movie, and then it's all weird. They see weird symbols. Apparently, I think they're taking a symbol from the Tate murders and reusing it. I think it's a circle. I'm not sure. It's been a long time since I looked into that. So, second act, it gets increasingly weird. Frank Grillo, who I think's a bad guy, gets increasingly weird. In this scene, I think he breaks into her house and then, or apartment or hotel or wherever she's staying, and then tells her to be quiet because she's going to talk to it. He's going to talk to her about, I don't know, being weird. And he talks to Charlie Manson during the course of the movie. The climax is, I mean, I think Frank Grillo thinks he's going to resurrect Manson. And then, is it going to be an actual resurrection, or do they symbolically resurrect him? Like, maybe Frank Grillo turns into Charlie Manson, or thinks he does, and then murders a bunch of people. But then in the end, the couple escape. I guess. I don't know. I wish these trailers would give me a little more of a platform to understand what the hell is going on. Because when you just show me a bunch of dialogue that's kind of disconnected, I mean, it kind of goes together, but it's kind of disconnected. I just feel like I'm lost. Like Like you're saying, oh, don't worry, this movie will be good. You're asking for a lot. You're asking for a lot, Remy. All right, so let's see what we got a synopsis here. Okay. A couple goes to the desert for a romantic weekend and shoots an audition for a role in an upcoming film. All right. Makes more sense. The holiday quickly turns deadly as they are the target of a cult that carries out the evil beliefs and murderous practices of the Manson family. The cult believes they can resurrect the ultimate object of their obsession, Charles Manson himself, through a shocking ritual of human sacrifice. All right, so that's a bit on the nose, but okay. Now the trailer makes a little bit more sense. I think the trailer really needed a line like, "You guys worship Charles Manson?" Or, "These guys worship Charles Manson. We have to get out of here." It's a little unclear, but okay. I don't know, but again, it suffers from the same problem of that delusion. There's delusional people who are way too into serial killers. Maybe the way I would have approached it would have been, there's a cult in the desert like that, but they are a bunch of phonies. But they recruit someone who is totally 100% serious about it. And then that person starts killing everybody. Something like that. Because it's, the idea that there's a whole cult dedicated to that, I can't really suspend my disbelief. I can see a person, even a couple of people, but a whole cult, nah. Manson didn't have that many followers. He just didn't have that many people. He talked like he did, but he just didn't. I don't know. Maybe I know too much about the actual events to buy into this, but maybe people born in a later era would be like, "Ooh, I heard about Charlie Manson. He's scary." Although maybe they saw that South Park episode. Maybe he's not. I don't know how this is going to do. Would I watch it? Again, maybe. Not something really on my radar. I don't typically go for movies that are just about horrible murders. So, needs to be, I don't know, more fun or more scary, I guess, for me. That's just me. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. I will be at Gator Weekend. That's right, Gator Weekend, starting at 2 at Tabernacle, New Jersey's One More Bar and Grill. That's out on 206. So if you see this video, come on out. I don't know how late I'll be there. I guess we'll see how it goes. My plan is to stay. It's freaking windy today, but we'll see. So hope to see you there, and I'll be there Sunday too. Tune in for the live stream. I'm not sure what time it's going to be. I'll let you know when I do videos later tonight. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one.